There'll probably be some laughing on a studio art tour, I would think. You know, people having a good time.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting at.
There's great company.
Yeah, yeah. You can have all the friends in the car and go look at a lot of terrific artwork. As the 13th annual, I was trying to figure out how long it was, and it's right on the brochure. 13th annual studio art tours going on here in the Faribault area, Faribault and Farmington and Northfield. In fact, most of these are in Northfield, I do believe. Right, Julie?
I'm keeping Faribault on the map, me and Diane Lockerbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it from Faribault.
More to come next year.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. It varies from year to year, doesn't it?
Yeah, and we're on the north end of Faribault, so we're really close to Northfield.
As close as
I'm in between Northfield and Faribault. Jess?
I'll be in Northfield.
Okay.
And she's from Faribault.
You
I live
want
in
to
Faribault,
introduce our other guest here, Julie?
I'm going to introduce a guest. Okay, Gordy. It's Jessica Prill. Good morning, Jessica.
Good morning.
All right.
And Julie Faulkner.
No,
Good morning.
I know Julie.
And
you're Judy
And I'm
Say
Judy
Willis.
Say Willis.
Yeah. You interviewed me 30 years ago for the job.
I did, and I hired you.
So they
Because you were
could,
so good. You had all these awards.
they could blame you for me being here for 30
But
years.
your name doesn't start with a J. Which
Pardon?
You're not in the club this morning.
No, I know, it doesn't. The 3 J's, I like that. The 3 J's. You guys should
We
start a
planned
rock
it that
group.
way.
What is your medium again, Julie?
I do acrylic paintings on a hardboard, domestic animals, pet portraits mostly.
And you do a lot of different things, right, Judy?
Yeah, I'm more focused right now on natural dye and textiles, but I still do have some jewelry.
And your expertise is in?
Jewelry. If
Jewelry.
that can be an expertise.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So your studio, you said, is right in Northfield, like in town?
Actually, I'm showing in Northfield at the Studio Arts Guild, who's going to have a couple other artists. There'll be Leanne Stromka, who's another jeweler, Matt Leister, who does photography, and Melissa
Henning.
who does ceramics. And we'll all be upstairs at the Art Guild.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a party.
You and Diane will have a good time, too.
Yes, we will, but when you're at the Northfield Arts Guild, stop down to the main gallery. I have some paintings in the gallery.
Oh, okay. Cool. Now, I'm guessing, this is just a wild guess on my part, that virtually all this art's for sale, right? I mean, that's
Oh,
why.
yes, yes.
I mean, you guys got to make a living.
Desperately for sale.
Yeah.
It's an art sale, and you get to visit our studio, see demonstrations, and get to see where we work and where we get our inspiration from.
A lot of people that go on the art tour go to see the different types of mediums and how they're made, but they're also looking at holiday shopping and buying some original work for some of the people on their holiday gift list.
I would guess the last 5 to 10 years of my parents' lives, I exclusively bought them pieces of art because, as you said, it's unique.
Mm-hmm.
They all had ties and cookware and all the stuff that they don't really need, right? What a great gift this is.
Oh yes, yes. We have a lot of people that come out to the art tour for that purpose.
Yeah, don't you think it's a good gift? Of course you do.
Of course they do. Yeah, I mean, when you have one of everything,
Yeah.
you don't have one of Judy Say Willis's natural dyed scarves, probably.
No.
And then you'll have one of everything.
Now you got to compliment her on one of her.
Well,
pieces.
oh, I have a piece of her work. It's awesome.
I do too.
She does awesome jewelry work.
Okay.
It really does. And Julie is a great animal painter, and I've got to get a picture of my. No, you have a picture of my daughter's
Yes, I do.
French bulldog. So that'd be a nice gift for my daughter.
I gotta get Julie to do portraits, and you can do my daughter, who is kind of an animal. So.
Oh my! Do you do people?
I haven't done people in a long time.
So you almost exclusively do the pet rather than the pet with the person.
Yes, I do cats, dogs, chickens, goats, cows. Right now I'm doing a farm animal series.
Wow.
But I do a lot of commissions of people's cats and dogs.
Okay.
You did rescue animals too, didn't you?
Yes, I did 2 grants about rescue animals.
All right, we're going to take a little break here, get our opening market report, and then we'll resume our conversation about the studio art tour coming to this area. Provides more available energy and improved fiber digestibility, meaning greater profit potential. Contact Keith Allen at Hay Creek Ag Services. Again, this morning on AM Minnesota, we are talking about the Studio Art Tour that's coming to this area, the Farmington, Faribault, and Northfield areas. And we certainly appreciate the young ladies for stopping by today and giving us all the details. And speaking of, Julie, you want to go over the hours? It's Saturday and Sunday, but some studios are open on Friday.
Some are open on Friday. I know I am. Judy is. Aren't you, Judy?
Yeah, Studio 7 is open on Friday.
Studio 7, Studio 10, 5, 8, 14, 15, 16, and 19 will all be open Friday. And Friday, remind me, is that 4 to 8? Judy?
Yeah.
4 to 8, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, October 21st, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, October 22nd, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you want to find a list of all the artists on this year's art tour, you can go to studioarttour.com. That is 1 T in art tour. So it's studioarttour.com. Sorry about that, a little confusing.
Where can people pick up these? I know we have some of these brochures here at the station. Are there other places where?
We have some at the Paradise Center for the Arts, the Cheese Cave.
The Arts Guild in Northfield have.
Yep.
All of the sponsors should have them, and we've been directing people to go to the arts organizations or the Northfield Chamber of Commerce or the Faribault Chamber of Commerce.
Is this on the website too?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Okay.
They're listed as sponsors.
Which is studioarttour.com,
Yes.
Yep.
and art is capital letters.
No, you can get there with ARTOUR, small letters.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the logo is,
Capital letters.
yes.
Studioarttour.com is the website. So how many years you been doing this?
I think I'm going on 10 years of this. Not the tour, but making jewelry. The tour, this is my 4th year, I think.
Were you approached by other artists, or how did you get involved in the tour? You heard about it and said, hey, I'd like to be part of that?
Yeah, I can't remember now because I have a 1-year-old, so I don't even know what happened yesterday. But yeah, I think I've got friends, a lot of art friends, like Kathy Colliston and
Sure.
Leanne, and people that did the tour, and so I was like, hey, I want to do that.
And
I
if
think
you're
my first year I was in Kathy's studio.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're still doing it, you must enjoy doing it.
I love doing it. I absolutely love it.
Even though you're doing it at a remote, I mean, not...
Yeah, my studio is kind of in the basement of my house, and also in my dining room table, and a little bit in my living room. So I don't really have a good place for people to come in my home and visit at this moment. But I'm hoping to bring more to Faribault next year.
Sure. I didn't notice, Julie, yours is handicap accessible, right?
With assistance, I think. Yeah, we can get you in there. Mm-hmm.
How about you, Judy?
Well, we have 2 studios that are handicap accessible, and then one it has 2 steps. So it's handicap accessible and with assistance.
Yeah. I mean, that's important, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm guessing a lot of people, elderly people, will be involved in this as well as young people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all love art.
Yeah. Tom's studio, which is the pottery studio, there'll be 3 potters there, and that's totally, completely handicap accessible. And then there's 2 artists that will be in where I dye, my wet studio, and that's handicap accessible. But then there'll be 2 artists in the house, in my studio space there, that 2 steps up. So you can make it, Gordy. We plan to see you.
Yeah, well, I'm not speaking for myself, but I think, you know, it's good to know.
Yeah.
It's good to know that. In fact, when you look on here, most of them are handicap accessible. You got the little handicap wheelchair insignia
Yep.
on there, which is good to know. So you're going to be open on Friday, you said?
Yes, we'll be open Friday. We'll have some white chicken chili, some
Ooh.
wine, some cheese from the Cheese Cave, the crackers, and then Saturday we'll have some fresh baked apple pie bars, some mini quiches. Oh, and Diane Lockerby's handmade candies.
But you have your animal paintings, and Diane has
Pottery.
pottery for sale.
Yes,
all that time.
And you can come and see our treats on Diane's pottery.
And you won't be able to find me at the Arts Guild now because I'm going to be at Julie's studio eating food.
She just decided that.
Sorry, everyone.
But you're not open on Friday night. So on Friday night you can go to Julie's
yeah.
house.
That's
There you
true.
go.
But I'll be setting up on Friday, so I'll be there if you want to stop by.
Do you have some refreshments at the?
Yeah, we're working on cookies right now. They didn't have flour in them last night, so they just kind of ended up being cookie puddles. But we're gonna add flour this time and see what happens.
Northfield Arts Guild, by the way, is located at 304 Division Street South in Northfield.
Correct. That's correct.
And you want to give us directions to your place, Judy?
We're just off of County Road 1, so it depends on how you go into Northfield. but
Right.
You can go on to County Road 1 right off of Highway 3. And just follow the signs. There's a lot of signs all over town.
So you're east
It's to the east, correct,
off 3.
off of 3.
And where are you located, Judy?
1212 First Avenue Northwest on the north end of Faribault.
Okay, 1212
First,
First
Ave.
Avenue
Yep.
Northwest. You have, what was the number?
Number 10, the studio number?
Number of studios 22, the number of artists
39. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guest artists.
Conceivably, you think people could get to every one of these?
Oh yes, that's the way we planned it. So I mean, people can come into town, stay overnight on Friday night. They
Sure.
can visit a few studios on Friday night, then start making the rounds on Saturday. Have a nice dinner somewhere Saturday evening, stay overnight, and make the rounds again on Sunday. We have a lot of people that drive. Well, last year we had some gals that were having a girls' weekend that came down from Brainerd. They usually would go down to Spring Grove
Cool.
because they have a studio art tour the same time as ours. But they decided to save 3 hours of travel time and come to ours last year. And we've always had a lot of people we should have a lot of people coming in from Wisconsin again this year. Rochester, Mankato. So it's basically set up so that people can come in, and that's why the Chamber of Commerce are real aggressive in promoting it, because it's good for the business climate of the area.
And Jessica, you think the other plus in this is the fact that this should be our peak color time in our area
Oh,
too?
absolutely. And we're having a beautiful fall this year. The green grass still being around with all the
Orange.
orange and reds and yellows. It's you want to be out and about this weekend for sure.
Yeah, Northfield and Faribault both have some really colorful areas.
And if you take the back roads between the two towns, you'll really see some pretty countryside.
Yeah, through Cannon City and that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's very pretty. So I'm assuming that's another plus on the tour,
Yes.
and one of the reasons why you have it this time of year.
I don't remember exactly why we decided on this time of the year. We were trying to stay away from conflicting schedules.
Sure.
And we originally set it up the second to the last weekend in October. And somewhere along the line it got changed to the third weekend in October. Sometimes that's not the same. And, so we looked at it, when are we going to get the biggest draw of people so they won't be going someplace else?
Is the St. Paul Art Crawl this next weekend? So there's a lot of art to be seen, but come down here instead, because
Yeah, you'll enjoy yourself. And you already heard about the refreshments.
right.
I'm not sure what we have for refreshments, we always have some, but we have some soup on Friday night, but we don't share that with the guests.
Oh, we share ours.
We have food for the artists so they can have the energy to keep going for the whole weekend, and then we have snackies for the guests.
Now,
I get people that come all 3 days.
if it's sloppy, like it was this last weekend, is that a problem? I mean,
Well, Gordy, you were in charge of the weather.
do people take their shoes off when they come in, that sort of thing? I mean, you don't
No.
like them traipsing mud in your place, do you?
They wipe their feet.
Yeah, they're
We
considerate.
give them towels. They can wipe their shoes.
Okay.
But what the weather was supposed to be great. It was looking at sunny and 70s. And then last night I looked at the weather, or this morning, and they said rain on Saturday. What's going on there, Gordy?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked at the extended forecast lately.
Mm.
Sorry if I'm in charge of the weather and I screwed it up. What can I say? I was at a wedding this last weekend. It was a horrible day for a wedding.
Yeah.
They had to duck in and out of Bow Memorial Chapel where the wedding was to take their wedding pictures because it was pouring
Huh.
much of the afternoon. That's not nice. So again, the studio art tour is this Saturday and Sunday. The hours are 10 in the morning till 6 in the evening on Saturday. Sunday 10 in the morning till 5 in the evening, and then some of the studios are open Friday from 5 until 9 in the evening. That
4 to
website
8. Isn't it 4 to 8 on Friday?
says 5 to 9 on the ticket here.
Friday?
Yep, it does.
Says 5 to 9 in your ticket.
Oh, it's wrong. It's 4 to 9. 4 to
4 to
8.
8.
4 to 8.
Oh, it is 4 to 8?
Mm-hmm.
Details.
Oh, okay.
We missed that. They missed it when they were proofing.
We'll be cleaning up between 8 and 9, so I guess.
This should say 4 to 8, you're saying.
Yes.
So I will
See,
make
it
that
says
change.
4 to 8 here.
Oh,
On the flyer.
all
Well, the
right.
website said that the Arts Guild was open on Friday, but we did not see that on the flyer, and so we changed that. But I will be there, so if you do want to stop by
On Friday.
on Friday.
Okay. I'm glad we got that clarified.
Yes. Thank you for catching that.
Well, I just read what was on the ticket.
One of the things that I think is unique about our art tour is the fact there's a lot of diversity. We've got a lot of variety.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got people like Colleen Riley and Donovan Palmquist with their pottery, Jennifer Wolcott's awesome metal work. You've got wood carvers. What's his name? Curtis Ingolstead.
Yeah, over by Nearstrand.
Yeah, he did that eagle, in the cemetery out on
Yeah.
Highway 3, and that's awesome.
We have Fred Summers.
Mm-hmm. David Allen
Mm-hmm.
Kathy's ornaments or
Yeah.
glass blowing.
and Kathy Collison's has awesome colored ornaments, Christmas tree ornaments. So there's a real variety. And by not mentioning everybody, we'll miss a few, but
Holmquist have fun, unique pottery.
yeah, there's a potter coming in from Wisconsin that's going to be a guest artist out at Holmquist. Lori Schmidt is a jeweler, and she'll also be at Holmquist. So, lot of variety.
From painting and photography to the jewelry and
Pottery.
you name it.
Wood sculptures, metal sculptures.
Yeah. Probably isn't a medium. Is there a medium that isn't on this? Probably
No,
not.
not really. We've got wood turners. David Peterson is, and we have a new Reed Hendershot is a new artist on the tour this year.
We don't have anyone doing clothing. We'll have to get a.
I've got a little
Judy's
clothing.
You've got
clothing.
clothing.
Judy's
Never mind.
got
Judy's got
clothing.
the clothing.
I don't have a whole ton of it, but I've got organic, naturally dyed.
Fabric.
Some of them is organic cottons too.
So then when you would do demonstrations too on what you do?
We do. Everybody does some demonstrations. Well, not everybody. We encourage the artists to do demonstrations because people like, if they're thinking about, gee, what am I going to do? I've got some time in my hands. I've done this as a hobby, but what's it like to develop it as art and to sell it? So people have the opportunity to come and talk to the artists about that as well as their own work.
And some of us teach, so I don't know if some of us will probably have information in our studios about our classes we teach.
And I've been doing some videos for our Facebook page.
Mhm.
So if you want to kind of sneak peek some of the artists' studios, you can go onto our Facebook page and kind of go through.
You do
Yeah.
a virtual tour.
A little bit of a virtual tour, yeah. Some of them are kind of long.
I like the David Allen one.
The David Allen
Yeah.
one. You want to see that studio. His
Amazing.
Amazing. His garden just outside of his studio itself with his sculptures is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Geez, how do you all find the time to do this?
We have clones.
You just said you have a 1-year-old. When do you have time to do this?
I don't sleep ever, which is why I can't remember anything or complete a sentence very well.
And we've also had some help with this year's art tour from the Southeastern Minnesota Arts Council.
Oh yes. We're supposed to talk about that. Okay. We were able to get a grant again this year from the Southeastern Minnesota Arts Council to what we said we were going to do this year that was different than last year was really put some emphasis on social media. I mean, last year we put emphasis, on the brochure and expanding the distribution of the brochure, and this year we said we're going to do more work with the social media, which Jess has taken over and done an awesome job.
It's been fun. It's been a little scary because I jumped into it kind of not thinking about having to actually do it, but
Yeah, we had a little snafu with my building. She couldn't get cell phone service
Oh my.
to do
yeah,
the
to
video.
do the live video.
Yeah,
So it was still, we made it work.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's
coming,
been
yeah,
fun.
just another reason to stop and see my studio.
Yeah.
Which brings up I guess a question that I have in my mind. Can people take pictures at these studios, or would you rather
I
not?
would ask the artists.
Mhm.
I mean, personally, I wouldn't care. I think if you're going to put it on social media and promote me, that's great.
Well, there you go, yeah.
But I would ask the individual
Mhm.
artists. I'm not sure how everybody feels about
Sure.
that.
Yeah. We have asked the photographer to make the rounds to the studios this year, taking pictures so we have some documentation, for marketing and things like that as we go into the future. I know about 5 or 6 years ago, Jennifer Wolcott, who has her own studio and is an artist, tried to get out and get to all the studios and take some pictures. But we've asked a photographer, independent of the studio tour, to do that. And he's agreed to do that.
So I'm going to guess you've been involved in this all 13 years, right, Judy?
Yep, correct.
You helped start this?
Yep. We figured that if they could do it down at Bluff Country, we can do it in South Central Minnesota. And there was Owatonna, Faribault, and Northfield artists that all got together, and it was a little more difficult then because we have technology and electronics today.
Right.
I mean, registration is online. If there's artists that are interested in being in next year's tour, which have already had some inquiries, they can go to the website, and by January 1st, they'll be able to go to the website and click on to register for 2018. So there's been a lot of interest over the years. I would probably not name everybody, but Sue Peoples has been on every year, Fred Summers, Jennifer Wolcott, Leanne Stremka was on the first years. Kathy Collison, I think, has been on every year.
Is this the most artists you've had involved?
No.
No.
You want to keep it manageable, so for people that come in, they can make it to all of the studios and see all the artists. And so this is kind of at the high end of
Right.
being able to do that. But I think last year, what did we have? I don't know. We've had 42, 43 artists.
How many years you've been involved, Judy?
I believe this will be my 9th year. Tammy Oakes is the one that told me about it and said, you should do this. And I've done it ever since.
And it's worked well for you? I mean, have you sold some stuff?
Oh yeah, the first year I think I did it by myself, then I had Deb Johnson for a year or two, and now Diane Lockerbie has been with me for the rest of the years.
I mean, let's be honest, Jessica, that's why you guys are doing this. I mean, you're trying to make a living, you need to sell some stuff.
Right. This is how we get through the end of the year.
That's how you buy your Christmas
and
presents
get
for
our
your
Christmas
1-year-old.
present.
Get our shopping done.
Well, and the other thing is, artists go out and they do their work. They go out and they sell it in various venues throughout the year. They bring that money back to the local economy. But we've got people coming in to go to the art tour. We've got artists generating some of their income that stays in the local economy. If I had to guess, artists don't give me real accurate numbers of how much they sold.
Right.
But if I were to say the total from last year, it would probably have been between $40,000 and $50,000. Some artists, make enough to cover their entry fee plus a little more. Other artists sell huge commissions. So, and other artists, I've been told, they get commissions in throughout the year from people that had seen their work in the studio art tour. So
It's good exposure.
In particular, yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot of commissions from the tour more than selling stuff off the wall.
Yeah, and I have a lot of people people always bring me something. Can you turn this into jewelry? And I get a lot of that off these kinds of events.
Do you like that?
Yes. As long as you don't have a real quick turnaround that you need from me, then yes.
What does the average piece take you? Is there such a thing as an average piece?
I don't think so. I think it all depends on what I'm inspired to make. This poor woman had me work with some pearls that she'd gotten on a trip, and she gave them back to me back in December. I just got them to her this weekend. So it just depends on the piece and if I have to really invent it from nothing or if they have an idea of what they want. So
You do some custom work, Judy, or is it just?
Not a lot. Last year I was asked, by Paul Schell if I would do the pocket squares for the guys for his daughter's wedding, and they wanted the pocket square to match color to the bridesmaid's dress. That gets a little tricky with natural dyes, because natural dyes, they've got a mind of their own.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like the chemical dyes that you can one part of this and two parts of that and you get this color. And they ended up being a little bit darker than they wanted, but they went very well. So, but somebody says, hey, will you dye this? You know, repurposing. You know, taking a well-made garment that's kind of faded in color. People come to me and say, will you dye this for me? And I do that as long as they're going to be agreeable to however it turns out, because you've got the dye material, but you've also got what's on the cloth when you get it. So I haven't done a lot of that.
13th annual Studio Art Tour is coming this Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 6 Saturday, 10 to 5 Sunday, and again, some of the studios open 4 to 8
on Friday.
4 to 8 on Friday. You can get more information at studioarttour.com, or you've been doing a lot of work on Facebook, right?
On the Facebook page, yeah.
Facebook page. Get to see videos of studios.
Video.
A virtual tour of some of the studios.
Yep.
I think I've done about 8 or 9.
There's quite a few.
Yeah.
8 or 9 of the 22 studios that are on this, 39 artists. So make sure you take in the tour, folks. And we are probably a little behind in terms of peak color, don't you think? This weekend we should blossom into peak, I'm thinking.
Yeah, it seemed like this weekend it kind of popped all of a sudden, so I think we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, well, we get the sun today after the rain over the weekend. I'm thinking it's going to be very, very nice. So that concludes today's edition of AM Minnesota. Yeah, make sure you take in the Studio Art Tour, folks. Tomorrow, Tom Hartman stops by. We're going to talk about the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame banquet, which is this Friday, and all the inductees into this year's Sports Hall of Fame. On Wednesday, we talk with chamber folks. Paradise is having their 10th anniversary. It's hard to believe Paradise has been around 10 years. Paradise Center for the Arts are having a shindig on the 28th, I believe, and on the 19th we'll get details about the Paradise Shindig. So those are some of the upcoming AM Minnesota programs. Make it a great day. It's beautiful sunshine in downtown Faribault. KDHL AM, Faribault, Minnesota.